Hey folks, Alex here, 95 to Freedom. Hope everybody's having a great day. Today we're going to talk about Ulty. What happened to our Ulty? We're going to talk about the new team that we're building. I'm going to call them the Dividend Avengers. And give an update on the portfolio. If you guys are new to this channel, I just almost moved all of my money from Fidelity into Robinhood. It's a whole new platform, whole new layout. I'm going to show you what I got. I did a little bit of buying today, a little bit of selling. So let's cover all that. Let's get into it. Let's make it interesting, folks. And let's go. Okay, so first things first. Ulti is $5.91 today, folks. Ulti started today. It dipped down. It looked like a sell-off. It recovered back up to $5.91. Now, let's just look at the 1 month chart, folks. That little movement is absolutely nothing. Okay, so it's still trending downwards from 641 down to 591. Now, one thing I did today is I went to our favorite little dividend tracker. I went back a month and I said, let's invest $10,000 into Ulti and $10,000 into SPY. Who would be the winner? Now, as you can see here, Ulti is clearly lacking behind. Now, again, this is all about entry point. Ulti was at all-time high of 641. SPY was at 627. If you move this date around by a couple of days, you might have a different story. But for me personally, I got in initially around 631, and then I got in some more around 620-ish. My average was 629. Now, every video I've made, I've been stressing the point. I don't see recovery of the dividend. I see a continuation, really the same thing that we had on the initial trend that Ulti had when the fund came out. Back then it was paying out monthly. It was over $1 per dividend. Now we're getting 10 cents a dividend. Now it was flat from April tariffs, all that kind of stuff. We went up, but we're starting to come down. Now look at this volume, how much more volume we had in the last couple of months. So folks, this was really a hard decision for me. As you know, at one point I had 40,000 shares. I lowered that position down to 21,000 shares last week. And over this weekend, I've been doing a lot of soul searching, really trying to figure out what I want to do. And you guys, again, none of this financial advice. You guys do whatever you want. But I decided, looking at just comparing the traction between Ulti and SPY, all that kind of stuff, and I did my math. I did the math. How much did I make? So I made over $15,000 on Ulti, and with the sale that I did last week of 19,000 shares, and today I sold pretty much the rest of my position. I took a hit of about $11,000. So overall, I've made only $4,000 since I ran this experiment. Now, if I look at my dividend tracker, as you can see, I got into Ulti back in July. I only had like 500 shares, and I started to build up my position. Now, one thing you notice that is I didn't have 40,000 shares every single week. So the way I did the math was if I would add up, let's say $2,000 plus $2,000, let's say that would be $4,000 dividend, that would equal to 40,000 shares. So really, if we add up the amount of shares that I had over the course of the past 6 weeks, and we extrapolate it to 40,000 shares per week, this will come out to about $1,000 a week that I would be getting from Ulti. Now, if you do the math, if you say, let's take $1,000 and times that by 52 weeks, that would be $52,000. Now, I did have $250,000 invested into Ulti, which comes out to roughly somewhere between 20 to 21% ROI. So really, it's not gigantic. Okay, it's nothing that is life changing. But you know, what is Ulti promising? It's promising us over 80%, and we're watching that NAV erosion. So I made the decision today, folks. I pulled the band-aid, we put him to sleep, and I started to build the Dividend Avenger team. Now, in my thumbnail, I think I gave it away on some of my core positions. So I'm just going to show you what I got here. This is where I sit today. This is in Robinhood. This is on the Legend extension, which is basically for trading or for viewing more detailed of your portfolio. It took me a little while to figure out how to see this, but right now I'm still waiting for $70,000 to still transfer from Fidelity. So as you can see, my own money, I got 180, a little bit under $185,000. So right now I have $2,000 in, I'm sorry, I had 2,000 shares in XDT, 2,000 shares in QDT. I got 1,000 shares of Maggie, 850 shares of YBTC. These are my dividend Avengers. These four positions make up the largest portion of my portfolio. Now, the other thing I've been thinking about, back in beginning of this journey, really beginning of this year, I tested out some other dividends that weren't promising the moon, that were monthly payers from Neos. And I really liked how their NAV kept up, how stable it was, how we were seeing a little bit of growth at the same time. So I decided to go back into some QQQI and into some SPY-I. So I got 600 shares of each one of those. Those are unfortunately only monthly pairs, but I wanted to keep up with that NAV. I wanted to see a little bit of growth and getting that dividend at the same time. Another thing that I'm experimenting with is HOOW, and this is from Roundhill. This is on Hood, and I got 100 shares of that. BTCI is from Neos. Again, this is on Bitcoin. I got 100 shares of that. And GPIQ, somebody in the comments mentioned about this one, which was very interesting to me. So I wanted to test it out because it's from Goldman Sachs. And look at this. This fund all time is 31% up, and it came out back in October 27, 2023. Now this pays monthly, and it's around a 10% dividend. Obviously 10% is not like the 86% that you're getting from Ulty, but compare this chart. Look at this recovery from that low that we had on April. Recover all that back up. If you look at year to date, we're up 4%, 6 month, 0.5%, 1 month, 1.68%, 5 day we're up. So it's a fund that grows, it doesn't overpay, but I mean, this is something that would be a great option for those who are looking to retire and take out, let's say, 10% and still see some growth from the market. So I like that one. I wanted to experiment with it, so I went ahead and I got 100 shares of that. Now, chat, this, I'm sorry, SMCY, I'm still holding on to this. I'm down on this one. Chat is another one I'm testing out from Roundhill. This one doesn't pay dividends, but it has growth potential. And I still have 100 shares of Ulty. Now, Ulty, I decided to just keep 100 shares so I can just keep an eye on it. Now, if you think I'm an idiot for selling Ulty, please leave a comment in under this video. If you think I made the right call, let me know as well. Obviously, everybody has their own strategies. None of the stuff that I'm doing is financial advice. I played around with Ulty. I was not married to it. I wanted to see what's possible. I went with 40,000 shares. Some people thought I was crazy. Again, overall, I'm still in the green. I finished after 6 weeks of playing around with it. I feel like I could have made more money by just holding it in my dividend Avengers. So we're going to see how this is going to play out. Now, I did some rough math. Right now, this portfolio here is supposed to hopefully get me around somewhere between $110,000 to $130,000 per year. Now, that being said, I hope that it's true $110,000 to $130,000 per year. Again, I don't want to see any NAV erosion. So this is one of the reasons really I'm steering clear of yield max funds because they just were not able to deliver unless it's a very short period of time. Look at Misti, for example. I had Misti for a while, for a few payments. Let me just unhide some of my columns. And I made some money on Misti, okay? It was a great fund. Let's see here, Misti. So I received, I mean, going back, I received $8,500. Now I got out of it, and really after I got out of it, it started to decline. MSTR underlier started to go down as well. So what I'm getting at is some of these yield max ones, they're promising a lot, but really if you want to play a little bit on the safer side, maybe look for momentum, get in it for a few weeks or a few months, and then get out. There's no way that I can build a portfolio holding Misti for the rest of my life. It's just, that's not what that trend is showing me. If I look up MSTY, I mean, look how much it's went down in the past month. I mean, we're down 17.6% in 1 month. In 6 months, we're down 30%. So again, it all depends when you buy in. You buy in here or you buy in down here. But again, I'd rather take something like QQQI, for example. Look at QQQI, 6-month QQQI chart. We're only down 1% in the past 6 months. Compare that to QQQ. Oops, too many Qs. 6 month chart on QQQ, 7%. Now we did get like 13 or 14% from QQQI, so really, I mean, it's a great performer. I think it's amazing. Same thing with SPY. They're not promising us the moon. 6 month performance, SPY down 0.86. 0.86, and again, that pays around 10 to 13%. Let's look at SPY, 6 month, up 5%. So really, it's tracking the underlier. It's paying out. It's not eroding. These are amazing funds that we can actually build some kind of future with. So that is what I did, folks. This is my positions. This is what I got into. This is how many shares I have. And what's really cool about Robinhood, folks, is the margin maintenance. Pretty much everything that I hold here is at 25% maintenance. And look at this. This is another thing that's cool with Robinhood is they have a nice breakdown of your margin. Look at this. Right now, my margin maintenance requirement is $86,000. This is what I need to have in order for me not to get margin call. Now, right now, my buffer is 53%. I have almost $98,000 in buffer position for this. Now, the rate is showing 5.55% interest rate, but it's going to update because I've spent over $100,000 in margin. And once you get over $100,000, it's going to go down to 5.25%. Meanwhile, folks are trying to figure out how to negotiate their Fidelity and Schwab, get it down from 12, 13%. You come over to Robinhood, I got a 1% offer. I brought everything over. They're giving me 1% on top of everything. And you're only paying 5%, 5.5% for your margin interest rate. So I feel like this was a no-brainer that I went into it. But this is what I got. This is my buffer. Again, I'm going to get another 70 grand come over. This buffer is going to come up. I'll probably do a little bit more shopping. But that's what I got going on. This is what we're going to be tracking. I'm going to update my dividend sheet to include all of these. And yeah, I think I'm done messing around with Ulty. We're going to track 100 shares just for the fun of it. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe Ulti is going to go to $7. It is what it is, folks. You guys all make your own decisions. But I'm going to use the data that I have, and that is the decision that I made. So that's what I got for today, folks. I don't want to bore all of you, so we'll end it on that. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate all the engagement. Have a good evening, folks. Take care.